Today we're going to look at the admin settings for FreshStore. This is where you'll come to set up your customers that you want to enable to order online. So first things first, we will type in our store admin password. The first thing that you'll see is the company settings page. This is regarding your company. So this would be your company's name, email address, any special login messages, which will look more at the customer side. And then down below, you can choose whether or not you want to automatically accept orders. Do you want the customer to be able to see the proof of deliveries? This is if you're using FreshScan to scan in your signed proof of deliveries. And then you've got some options when it comes to how pricing is displayed, and you display on-hand inventory. You can change your admin password. Your account manager should have given you your store admin password, but you can come down here and change it. And then there are also some additional navigation links that you can add to your FreshStore. For example, it may be a market guide or anything that you may have published could be there. Next, we have our SMTP settings. These are only going to be set up once. This is the email account that FreshStore is going to use to send email confirmations through. And then most importantly, this is where you will set up your customers on the customer tab. The customer will have to be set up in FreshBite first in order to be set up within FreshStore. So I'm going to select a customer that I already have, that have set up within FreshBite. And I can define their username and password and hit save. Now, I see at the top all of the customer's information. This is dynamic based on what is in FreshBite. You will not be able to change this here. You can remove the customer. This will only remove them from online ordering. It will not delete them from FreshBite. And then we have the option to reset the password. This will send the user a reset password link. Below, these are all items that we can change. We could change the user ID for the account. We could add the additional email addresses that would get order confirmations. And you would do multiple. They just need to be set up using commas. And then what is their default catalog view? Is it the picture view or is it the grid view? This, if you've got questions, watch the video regarding the customer's edible store, what they would see, and that will answer that question for you. For right now, I'm just going to put this to grid view. Order delivery settings. If you have alternate ship to addresses set up for your customers, you can choose whether or not you want to allow the customer to change the ship to address. And then you can also set to only allow the customer to order on days they are routed for. This would be in the FreshBite customer master if you have defined routes here. All it requires is a non-zero character in that field, and that will indicate the customer can only order on those days. So you can restrict them. If they're only a once a week delivery, they would only be able to place an order for whichever day of the week it is that you deliver to them. And then item settings. We can choose, do we want to by default filter the catalog that they view when they log in to only show standard items. We can also set, we may only allow them to order standard items. This is typical if you're dealing with school districts or governments where you're bidding on items and that customer can only order those items, not anything else in your catalog. So you can choose to turn that on, and they may not pay broken case charges, so you don't want them to be able to order an alternate UOM for those standard items. Lastly, you can choose to display prices, disable zero price items. So if they're not priced out within FreshBite, you don't have to show them to them online. And then we can limit the catalog to a certain item group. A number of our customers may have 1,000 different items set up within their item master. But maybe some of those are special order and they want the customer to call in to order those. Or they may sell some proprietary items and they don't want everybody to be able to purchase those. So all you have to do is set up an item group, which can be done in FreshBite by going to Inventory, Item Group Setup, and setting up whichever group that you would like to restrict. And we see here I can choose my test example right here. Lastly, skipping back over to FreshBite, you do have the option under Options, Business Rules and Holidays. This will bring up your business rules and holidays. You could set which dates you're closed, what days of the week you are closed, and what your cutoff time is for next day delivery. And you can edit each of these individually. This is imperative because if these are not set up, your customers could potentially set orders for same day delivery, which is often impossible to get to them. So make sure you set these up as part of your setup. Next,